LinkedIn doesn't provide us with full value unless we use it for posting content. Posting content can be anything from creating your own content to repurposing existing company content, resharing other people's content, or becoming active in commenting and engaging in other people's posts. Whether you are a recruiter, a coach, solopreneur, growth business founder, or work in employer branding, you do need LinkedIn to build your growth. That's why in this week's episode of the Building a Modern Employer Brand podcast, we talk about using LinkedIn content to grow your reach and build a community that helps you advance with your business and career goals. My name is Susanna Rantanen, and I teach branding, marketing, and communications for HR industry professionals, such as recruiters, career coaches, and employer branding professionals. And my employer branding agency, Emine, helps growth organizations build a magnetic employer brand and create and use content marketing to convince and convert your target talent audiences into recruitment leads, job applicants, and engaged employees. I'm so glad you're listening today, so let's get started with today's episode. And I want to mention that today's episode is inspired by Mr. Daniel Kading, a LinkedIn copywriter who helps SaaS founders build lead funnels on LinkedIn. You'll find him on LinkedIn, and I recommend following if you want to learn more about his content creation and copywriting tips. And I'll put a direct link to his LinkedIn profile on the show notes page of this episode. I want to start this episode by giving you 8 reasons for using LinkedIn content for business and personal growth. Now, and when I say personal growth, I mean your personal professional growth. So LinkedIn is the best platform specifically for work-related content. This is reason number 1. Despite having, I would say, becoming somewhat Facebookish, LinkedIn continues to be the primary stop when you want to reach people and companies for business purposes. Whether you're looking for a new job, hiring people, selling, or simply just building your professional network and your brand, LinkedIn is the place to be. Reason number 2, your company page on LinkedIn works like a social website, giving you a destination in the app to lead traffic. We know how negatively social media platforms treat organic posts with links, driving traffic outside the platform. But driving traffic to your LinkedIn company page is a great idea to build your company following, be it potential customers or potential job applicants. Reason number 3, what about lead generation? LinkedIn is a great platform for generating business leads for talent acquisition and sales. Regular content marketing is, of course, the key in building trust and growing awareness of what value you can offer to your target audiences. Using a social media scheduling tool helps you keep up with regular content publication. Reason number 4, LinkedIn is also a great platform to establish thought leadership. Active content publication on your subject matter expertise helps you become your niche audience's go-to person. Reason number 5. Did you know Google ranks LinkedIn profiles and pages more willingly than it ranks websites? And that's why you should definitely link your company blog and website or career site to your LinkedIn company page. Reason number 6. LinkedIn provides us with a blogging tool called LinkedIn Pulse. This is nothing new, but many of us have overlooked the value of LinkedIn Pulse as a blogging tool for employer branding, for example, and you should not, because driving traffic from your post outside LinkedIn to your company blog, for example, is not supported by the LinkedIn feed algorithm. So consider taking advantage of LinkedIn Pulse from your business page. You can write and publish articles from your LinkedIn business page. So post employer branding blog content on your company's LinkedIn page and drive traffic to it instead of your website. but don't make it identical so that Google doesn't ban you if you have two identical posts in two places on the internet. Reason number 7, research your customer and talent audiences on LinkedIn. Learn about your target audience by reviewing regularly their pages, their profiles, and posts, because this is a really great way to learn what topics seem relevant for your target audiences and see how those match with your content strategy. And the final reason is reason number 8, source and engage with your target talent audiences. So search for talent profiles matching your hiring needs or sales needs. Start by reviewing what they post about, when they last posted, so that way you know how active they're on LinkedIn, and what they have commented on LinkedIn, because this indicates how frequently they use LinkedIn. Make an effort to engage with their posts and reshare their posts to make sense. That makes sense for your followers. Start following or invite to connect and introduce yourself after you have engaged with them for a while. But I have to say, because as a active LinkedIn user and a managing director in my own company, I get a lot of invitations to connect with people who try to sell something. So I want to say that just like a random person wanting to connect with you to sell you something is like a cold call that I also don't like. So instead of pushing something you need in your intro post, such as I'm connecting with you to sell something to you or hire you, connect to engage and grow your professional network. That is much more welcoming. And when you get to know each other, when there's a little bit of that trust in between you, that opportunity to talk about sales or hire will come later. You can trust that. LinkedIn doesn't provide us with full value, unless we use it for posting content. Posting content can be anything from creating your own content to repurposing existing company content to resharing other people's content, or just simply becoming active in commenting and engaging in other people's posts, because that's also content. Your comment is a content. So how do you want to use content on LinkedIn to build your growth? So whether you are a recruiter, a coach, solopreneur, growth business founder, or working employer branding, you do need LinkedIn to build your growth. And you can use your personal profile, or you can create a page for a business if you don't have one yet. But I recommend using your personal profile. In a recent Social Media Marketing World presentation, Daniel Kading shared the following tips on how to use LinkedIn content for meaningful business growth. These same tips apply very much to your professional growth on LinkedIn as well. So tip number 1 is about copywriting 101 for your LinkedIn post. So what Daniel Kading said, that the ideal length for your LinkedIn post is between 700 and 1,300 characters. This keeps the reader on your post long enough for the algorithm to take note that there's something interesting in your post. This character count makes an ideal post about 5 to 8 paragraphs long. And you should not write more than 2 lines of text at a time before making a line break. Tip number 2, carousels are visually stimulating on LinkedIn too. So we are familiar with carousel posts on Instagram and Facebook, and you can also create carousel posts now on TikTok. But did you know that the same visual stimulation effect works on LinkedIn too? They perform really well because people like clicking through carousel posts when they are catchy and easy to consume. And you can repurpose some of your written posts or blog content into colorful carousel posts. Number 3, selfies build trust and win attention. I know lots of people are opposed to selfies, yet most people stop at someone's selfie and take a figurative minute to look at it. And the algorithm goes, woohoo! Something interesting here, because that user stopped scrolling. So selfies are great because they are you. They are you, the author of the post. They help show who wrote this post. Your profile picture is such a tiny little thumbnail, especially on mobile devices, that it doesn't make anywhere near a similar impact, if at all. We also know posts with an image tend to perform much better than posts without any image because people stop. And then the algorithm goes, woohoo, something interesting in this post. And when you post, it's very easy to snap that selfie and add it as an image for the post. Selfies are great because they're very humane, they're real, and people love humane and authentic on social media when so much of the content is kind of pretend, make believe. So when we show our faces, we build trust, and trust is what all social encounters benefit from. Tip number 4, polls. Have you used polls in your LinkedIn content marketing? Because I've noticed that there was a huge growth in posts, including polls, but it was, I think, much higher some time ago, and it's not that high right now. But polls continue to be a great type of content to boost your LinkedIn growth as they engage people in 3 ways. So they engage people sharing their opinion, their choice, or a view, and you get insight from your audience that you can repurpose for other content. They engage people getting the conversation started about the topic as people engage in the comment section. And they engage people in ways that get the algorithm to support your organic reach as it detects a post that LinkedIn users like. So according to this same blog, Daniel Kading, the key here is to give only 2 options to choose from. I agree or I don't agree. Nothing else. They are more inclined to comment on the options because giving a harsh yes or no is just kind of against our human nature. Because we kind of like to compromise. We don't want to get into conflicts. And when we go this dual way, yes or no, I agree, I don't agree, this type of manner or technique prevents those vanilla responses that are so easy to make for people who just really don't want to, run into a conflict. So you kind of, when you use this Daniel Kading's tip, you kind of force people into a bit of a conflict, which leads into them engaging with the post in the comment section because they want to explain or they want to comment you, why don't you have other options? Tip number 5, video content. Now, needless to say, video content rocks on LinkedIn as well. But I have to say that based on my experience, go for short form video instead of long form. If you create short form videos already, such as Reels, YouTube Shorts, or TikToks, simply repurpose those for LinkedIn. But I have to remind you not to share a link to TikTok or YouTube or Reels, Instagram. Download your video and post it native on LinkedIn so that people get to watch it on LinkedIn instead of trying to drive traffic outside LinkedIn because the algorithm doesn't like that. And hey, you have to remember subtitles because people are more likely to watch your video when they can read what you say. I record a lot of my video content with a teleprompter app because this teleprompter app that I use actually creates the subtitles from the text that I feed it, which makes it really handy for me because I don't have to rewrite the subtitles. There's plenty of teleprompter apps available. I found a couple of blog posts that recommend different various teleprompters, have nothing to do with those. So I'm just, instead of me having to create this blog post where I recommend you teleprompters, I add the links to those 2 blog posts in this episode show notes for you to check that out. You can find it on modernemployerbrand.com/podcast140. Engaging with others on LinkedIn supercharges your LinkedIn growth. I want you to know this. By now, all social media users do know about posting content, but how active are you with commenting? In other words, engaging with other users' posts on LinkedIn. Because if you truly want to turbocharge your LinkedIn growth, this is a must for a few reasons that I'm going to tell you next. LinkedIn is a social media where social engagement is the greatest driver of your reach, like in all other social media platforms. So the most benefit comes from spending just a little bit of time talking with people instead of just shoving a post and leaving, or better yet, not even going to LinkedIn because you use a scheduling app and you schedule your content on a third-party tool. So as Daniel Kading says, community creates business opportunities. So secondly, the LinkedIn community are the people whom you follow, who follow you or your business, and as well as unconnected users whom you engage with in your posts or other people's posts. And that's a huge opportunity for your growth as well, to get connected with unconnected users who engage with your post or other people's posts. So business opportunities that can come in the forms of partnerships for solopreneurs and founders, direct sales, inbound requests for an offer, get those often, sales and recruitment leads, get those often, your new employees, get those as well, higher reach and more organic visibility on the platform, new contacts and new followers, and a support network. So let's talk about how to engage on LinkedIn for growth. The simple answer is to comment on other people's posts. Respond when others comment on your posts, and reshare other people's posts with your 2 cents, as in a comment, and thank and comment when others reshare your post. When you comment and connect with people, the algorithm detects that something's happening on your post and boosts the visibility of it. So the more active the commenting is, the more free visibility your post gets. You understand this is free, as in you don't have to pay for it. Simply comment and engage multiple times a week. Just spend a couple of minutes. You don't have to be there for hours. Or pay to boost and promote your posts, which is not as effective if you still don't engage. So commenting and engaging on posts is a key growth tool on LinkedIn, and not just LinkedIn, but any other social media as well. So one more thing, I like the term Daniel Kading used in his presentation during Social Media Marketing World, which was the power hour. Albeit knowing of this important hour right after you post, I'd never heard this term to be used before. And I like it because it really sticks into your mind and tells you how essential that critical hour after posting is. Unless people start engaging with your post within the first hour after you post, the LinkedIn algorithm sinks the post. You should also comment back within the same hour to leverage this hour when the algorithm wants badly to help you to succeed with your post. That's why you want to post during the peak times when your audience is active on LinkedIn and react to notifications on your own posts immediately. You can also tag other people in your post if they would want to comment it. So ask a question from them and ask for their opinion on it. Make it easy for them to respond. How about that? Are you excited to start growing your LinkedIn reach and try out some of these tips? If you already forgot what they are, as always, you have the blog version of this episode to turn to. So find it on themodernemployerbrand.com/podcast140. I have to tell you that this episode is quite meaningful for me because I did 140 episodes, weekly episodes, so 140 weeks of podcast content on my Finnish podcast before I decided to continue just with this English one. And now I've also done 140 weeks of this English version. So I'm not planning to stop this, but continue weekly like I have. But if you calculate some of those together, so 280 weeks of podcast episodes is what I've done so far. That's over 5 years of podcasting. I mean, imagine that. That's a lot. But I've enjoyed it. And I've especially enjoyed connecting with you guys in my audience. And I want to thank every single one of you who has ever sent me a private message, thanked me for this podcast, who have share this podcast forward, who have mentioned and loved this podcast, who have shown your love for this podcast, because all of that, whether it's been private or public comments, those I remember every single one of them. I've kept every single one of them. They're so meaningful to me because obviously as an entrepreneur, this is a huge time investment from me to do this weekly episode and all the marketing that goes with it, because I do it all by myself, except for I have an editor who does it, who edits the episode, but everything else I do myself. And I spend probably like 1 day of a week for all the work that goes on with the weekly episode. So that's a lot in terms of like I could be selling more and doing more customer work or whatever, but I'm doing this podcast for free for you. And that's why your feedback and your thanks and your mentions and your support truly matter a lot to me. And like I said, I've saved every one of those. All right, that's all for this week, my friends. My name is Susanna Rantanen, and I teach branding, marketing, and communications for the HR industry professionals who want to build a successful career and get the life you deserve. And by the way, I'm looking for new coaching clients. So if you're looking for a coach to help you to build your personal brand as a talent acquisition or employee branding professional or a career coach, for example, contact me to set up a free discovery call to see if I might be the perfect coach for you. So you can email me at susanna@emine.fi. That's SUSANNA at EMINE.fi for Finland. So Emine is like Eminem, the rapper, but without the M at the end. Thanks for listening. Until next time.